I'm speechless to say I don't even know what to describe or talk about discussing this Power Rangers fan film. The one I've been waiting for the whole year. Greetings everyone, Anthony Mars Jr. on PRLostGalaxy2014 with a brand new Power Rangers fan film review presented by PRLostGalaxy2014's Facebook page and my Morphin Megaverse Power Rangers Facebook group. I don't know what to say, but I was just really excited, and I've been waiting for this Power Rangers fan film to hit the internet for almost ever since the release of the Teenagers with Attitude film that came before Zordon of Eltar. And my good friend Cisco Davis Jr., who directed the Teenagers with Attitude short, plus Zordon of Eltar, and his saga will conclude in Teenagers with Attitude 2, which is already currently going through a funding process of being promoted from Kickstarter. I'm just really excited to do my review of Zordon of Eltar. Well, my review from when it was recorded, I had to postpone it because yesterday was the 20th anniversary of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. So therefore, I didn't have the time to review the fan film. I already watched every single moment of it, but I'm not going to fully explain everything that was already explained within the film regarding the overall Power Rangers mythos. But all I'm going to do when I talk about Zordon of Eltar is talk about some of the things I liked and go from there, and then give my overall thoughts over it. So, Zordon of Eltar, a Power Rangers fan film prequel. I actually liked this movie. This movie was very good, and I have to be honest with you, it is way better than that Power/Rangers short, because at least unlike that film, this film stayed true to the Power Rangers source material, but once again, this is Power Rangers reimagined. I really like the way how every single bit of it was shot. I like the way how the characters were reimagined. The characters of Zordon and Rita and Goldar, Scorpina, Rita Revolto, Divatox, Elgar, King Mondo, Alpha, Dulcia. I mean, unbelievable. I cannot believe they brought those characters that was associated with Zordon, especially of those that would become enemies to the Power Rangers generations on years later within main Power Rangers canon. And I cannot believe how unbelievable this movie was well acted and well written, and as well as the cinematography process. It was incredible. Really incredible. I would never really think that there would be a Power Rangers fan film this large at scope. But when I see Teenagers with Attitude 2, when that comes out, then I'm going to know something. So pretty much likely this is a fan film trilogy by my friend Cisco Davis Jr. And I just knew then and there that there was going to be 3 films of this Power Rangers reimagining of his perspective of how he reimagines Power Rangers. Like what I am right now doing with my reimagining of Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. But we're talking Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, as obviously since Mighty Morphin is more likely the more beloved than any other season. I get it. We know MMPR is all over the place. I'm not going to get all fidgety about it this time like I was every time I bring up MMPR, and when I talk smack about MMPR when knowing, dude, I should just cut that out. It's just the film was just really speechless. I mean, you got Zordon versus Rita, and then also the way how and then okay, they did some few explanations, like how Zordon created the power coins. How did Zordon encounter Rita? prior to the years when Rita would be encased into her space dumpster after, that would lead to her coming back 10,000 years, that she will be free. And then how Rita got the Green Ranger's Dragon Zord, and actually before it would become the Green Ranger's Dragon Zord, and knowing that in Teenagers with Attitude 2, when that comes out, we're going to see Tommy, or actually the girl that is next to Tommy in the next movie, Tammy Oliver, she's going to be the Green Ranger. So I like the new perspective of seeing the Green Mighty Morphin Ranger being a girl in his next movie, while Tommy will be the White Ranger. Well, we'll see. And I really like the way, even I like the animation and also the look of the Dragon Zord in the film. The Dragon Zord looks very awesome, as opposed to its original television counterpart. I even like the way how the Dragon Dagger was made. The Dragon Dagger looks exactly what a Dragon Dagger should look like if this was, again, Power Rangers reimagined. Even though the MMPR fan film, if it had the Green Ranger in it, that would be great too. And then let's talk about the way how the Dragon Zord's design looks. It's almost reminiscent to its original counterpart. Like I said, it's really great. And then also the reimagining of the villains. Let's talk about the villains of the Zordon era. Basically, let's start with the iconic female villain of Power Rangers lore, Rita Repulsa herself. I have to admit, the reimagining process of Rita was fantastic. And I really liked her portrayal, even though this is a young Rita Repulsa and not the Rita Repulsa that we would usually see in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and throughout Power Rangers lore, where she appears like an old lady or so. Because knowing Rita in the TV series is very great, but I actually like the fan films take on Rita, because this Rita is more malevolent than her original and iconic TV counterpart, which is pretty good. And although unlike the Rita of the TV show and the Zoo Ranger footage, the Rita in this Power Rangers fan film looks more like a warrior than a witch. Although unlike the Rita that we also have in the TV show and overall franchise, the Rita here does not wield her magic wand to make her monster grow. Like she always says all the time when the Rangers defeat her monsters. I would have loved it if this movie had Lord Zed in it, but as a plus, if there was a director's cut of Zordon of Eltar, we would have loved to see where did Lord Zed would come from at this point, and how Zordon would encounter Lord Zed. But Lord Zed is not really important here. This is focused more on Rita, because Rita is the more popular villain of all the villains in Power Rangers lore that you can think of from the top of your head. The conflict between Zordon and Alpha was established. Zordon and Alpha. Zordon and Rita was established even since when Power Rangers began. And I like the way how the backstory, how Rita and Zordon became enemies, have been established very gratefully. And that they want, and also the whole declaring war between them and the Machine Empire. The Machine Empire. I wish there was if there was some extended footage shot, if there was ever been made, that we would like to see some war scenes between Rita and the Machine Empire before Zordon even met the Machine Empire and met Rita. I would love to see the movie do some of that stuff too. Because, well, as opposed for that bullshit Power/Rangers film again, when they brought up the Machine Empire, we never even saw the Machine Empire at all. All we saw was just human military soldiers killing the Power Rangers, and then also that scene where the Black Ranger in that film beat up a bunch of North Koreans for drugs. But I digress on that. I'm tired of the Power/Ranger stuff. I know that film has been total Power Ranger fan film poison to me for the last now 4 months, since today is July 1st, 2015, when this fan film review was recorded earlier in the morning. And looking back at that film as opposed to Power Ranger fan films that actually do stay true to the Power Rangers formula, unlike Joseph Kahn's Power Rangers film, despite, again, the whole he's not a fan of the franchise and never was bullshit. That's why he gave us a fan film that really pissed us fans off. annoying. That wasn't even a fan film. It was more like a film that if Hollywood were to do a dark, violent, R-rated Power Rangers movie, unlike Joseph Kahn's Power Rangers film or any other Power Rangers film that would disregard, fatality to the series and the overall franchise. Zordon of Eltar, once again, as I stated, is actually what Power Rangers should be. It's lighthearted, but it's also dark at the same time. I'd rather see a Power Rangers fan film that balance the dark while at the same time be lighthearted thing. And that's what Zordon of Eltar and the Teenagers with Attitude films are doing. Because when you look at Teenagers with Attitude, well, back at that, we saw reimaginings of the cast of who is playing Jason, Trini, Zach, Kimberly, and Billy in that film. And even when I saw the teaser for Teenagers with Attitude 2 after watching Zordon of Eltar after the movie was over by that near last minute, when they showed Tommy and his supposedly sister Tammy, if Tammy ever existed. But I mean, I can just imagine Lionsgate's Power Rangers movie if they gave Tommy a sister instead of him being an only child being adopted, since I've been long caught up to Tommy and his character within Power Rangers, that even up to the point in Power Rangers Zeo, it was revealed that Tommy was orphaned, and no wonder he is considered the greatest Power Rangers of all, one of the greatest Power Rangers of all time, or actually the only greatest Power Ranger of all time, outside of, Jason, who is the greatest Red Ranger of all time. And I would like to see more in Teenagers with Attitude 2 when they do it. I hope they furtherly explore Tommy with his backstory in Teenagers with Attitude 2. That's one of my few predictions on that one. Zordon of Eltar back again with the villains. And even when I look at Rita's costume in this movie, it's not like that long big ass dress that Rita had in the TV series and that ridiculous looking witch hat of hers, headdress. This Rita was more warrior-fied than her original TV counterpart, like I said before. And also the black lipstick thing. I mean, the only two female villains in Power Rangers, in main Power Rangers canon that ever had female villains wear black lipstick was Trachina in Lost Galaxy and Elsa in Dino Thunder. But seeing Rita with black lipstick, I was like, okay. Because that gives me some vibes of, I could see if there was a Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film I'm the one making the Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan films. My bad. But just saying, it's just by having seen Rita looking like that, it just gives you vibes of Trachina and Elsa to an extent with the black lipstick and the black costumed getup. And then the reimaginings of Goldar and Scorpina. Now, Scorpina, unlike her original counterpart, her costume and appearance is okay. I like the fact that they gave Scorpina a mask. I can't think of the name of the title of a mask where it covers her eyes. That's fine. And then you made Goldar look like one of those Spartan warriors. I really like the way how that was given. And despite the quality of the costumes of the characters, I really like that. And then surprisingly enough, Divatox. Okay, this is the second Power Rangers fan film I have watched with Divatox featured as one of the villains in a Power Rangers film. Now I can just imagine if someone does a Power Rangers Turbo fan film in this high concept or any kind of concept quality, and if you do Divatox as that fan film's villain, I would like to see how Divatox would be portrayed properly. Because you see, the Divatox we all know in Power Rangers Turbo, now I can tolerate Hilary Shepard's Divatox. But despite some of the flaws I have with her version of the character that a lot of people love, I am a little bit persistent on the duality of despite the different actress change when Turbo was in its production, when during the show's first chunk of the season following Hilary Shepard's absence from doing the first chunk of the series despite her pregnancy after the Turbo movie was filmed, and when the Turbo movie went into its production, Turbo series went into its production, Shepard couldn't do Divatox in the TV series. because she was pregnant. I've already stated that back in my video retrospective on Power Rangers Turbo back in January. And that's why we got Carol Hoyt for the first chunk of the season until, you know. But however, Hoyt would reprise her role of Demetria for the rest of the series until Chasing the Space. The Diva talks that Power Rangers cosplayer Sonia Arlen, who we all know for doing cosplay for Power Rangers, since that's all I ever see her do cosplay of, alongside cosplay of other superheroes and such, and sci-fi like characters. I actually like the Sonia Arlen's portrayal of Diva Talks. It's like a blend between Hilary Shepard's Diva Talks with the Carol Hoyt version. But more likely, I think Arlen was more likely basing her portrayal of Diva Talks off Carol Hoyt's portrayal than the Hilary Shepard portrayal of the character, who was more, because knowing Carol Hoyt's Diva Talks, she was the more serious, calculating, divisive, deviously portrayal of the character, whereas Hilary Shepard's version was the loony, goofy, lame duck, vapid, cold, abundant, annoying version of the character that I liked from Arlen. And if I ever come across Sonia Arlen, I would tell her that she did a great job doing the if I were to conduct an interview with the cosplayer, if I did come across her in a convention. If it's, you know, even if it's Power Morphicon or I don't know where, I would like to see that. I would definitely like to see, you know, I would like to meet Sonia Arlen and tell her everything about what was it like doing a fan film, doing the Zordon of Eltar fan film, and what was it like playing the role of Diva Talks. I really liked the way how she pulled the part off. And surprisingly enough, if you did bring up the Machine Empire, it was great that you brought in King Mondo. At least, unlike Power/Rangers, we do have King Mondo in the fan film, in a Power Rangers fan film, and I'm happy to see King Mondo in a different reimagined light. And unlike the King Mondo we all know in Power Rangers Zeo, King Mondo didn't really do much of anything. I mean, the only part I liked was when he met with Zordon about declaring war with Rita and her army, and I really liked that aspect too. And it was just surprising to see King Mondo in a Power Rangers fan film. And I can just imagine in a if someone also did a Power Rangers Zeo fan film, I would like to see their reimagined vision and reimagined image and concept of King Mondo in his Machine Empire 2. If you guys were to do a Power Rangers Zeo fan film, because I love Power Rangers Zeo, and I would like to see a new version of King Mondo reimagined, as opposed to a reimagined Rita and a reimagined Diva Talks. And then also, let's talk about some of the other peripheral characters we also have. You have characters from The Masked Rider like Count Dragon and what was the name of Prince Dex's grandfather. He was also featured in the film. And surprisingly, you got Dulcia from the Mighty Morphin movie as reimagined to be featured in the film, because of course Dulcia was in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. But for those who are fans of the original Mighty Morphin movie, have kept wishing to see if Dulcia would appear in main Power Rangers canon, when knowing she and also the villain Ivan Ooze only exist in the original movie's canon. So even though you do in the Power Rangers Fighting Edition video game that was released for Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo, that Ivan Ooze was a guest villain in that Power Rangers game outside of the movie's universe and its video game tie-in. And I think I pretty much overheard when I was watching the movie that they did reference Ivan Ooze, but I wasn't quite sure where he was in the film at that point. Well, we know that in the film, that in the original Mighty Morphin movie, that Zordon had sealed Ivan Ooze away 6,000 years ago. So, would this also point in the fan film, should Ivan Ooze appear in the fan film here to try to confront Zordon? Or reason with Zordon about his conflict, Zordon's conflict with Rita. That's something that I wanted to see. And although I've already seen a Power Rangers fan film earlier last year where Ivan Ooze was featured as that fan film's villain. And I forgot the name of that Power Rangers fan film. It was a Power Rangers indie fan film that lacked although I did like the different variation of the costumes of the characters, even though the costumes were, for the Ranger suits, were just morph suit, those Power Ranger morph suits that were made in France and all. But I forgot the name of that fan film, but that name of that fan film will come back to me eventually. So. And then when I look at Dulcia, and when I saw the actress who played Dulcia, I think that's the same actress that we've already seen play Kimberly in the Teenagers with Attitude film. I think it is the same actress. And her name escapes me at the moment because I just realized that they used the same actress to play Dulcia in the fan film. And I actually like the way how this Dulcia was pulled off too. At least this Dulcia is more faithful to her 1995 movie counterpart. But just imagine in that abomination of a Power Ranger short, if Dulcia was featured in that film, if she was decimated by the Machine Empire when the Machine Empire made a treaty with Earth and the Power... Oh yeah, that Power/Rangers film keeps getting to me every time I make references to it. And every time I bring it up, it just irks me. Every time when I just think about... every time when I just think about it, it just irks me. When I'm trying to talk about other Power Ranger films, I just got that Joseph Kahn directed abomination in my mind too much because bad enough it already poisoned my brain and my interest in Power Rangers and Power Ranger fan films be made in general because I did not like the things that film still did. And it's now been 4 months since Power/Rangers came out and I still can't get over it. I still can't. I just can't get over the badness of that film, and I'm trying to get it out of my mind as much as possible. And then you also had I also like the film's reimagining of Alpha in the film. And Alpha, Alpha's appearance, I mean, you have a human actress playing a robotic, half human, half robot Alpha, which I liked. That was great too. And also... because, when I look at the Alpha in this fan film, she is like, well, let's think of her as a half human, half robotic version of Cortana from the Halo franchise. Because when you look at this Alpha, it looks like a humanized, robotic, half human, half robot iteration of Cortana from Halo. That I liked. And I think that Lionsgate should take some inspiration from, and also as a shout out to Cisco Davis Jr. Cisco, as much as I liked this film, I think Lionsgate should take notes from your Power Rangers fan film before they start filming and take some references from your movie or elements from your movie more gratefully, since your movie stayed more true to the Power Rangers lore than, that other Power Rangers film that a lot of people hate. And I really like this. I just really like the way how it was just done. And then I also thought that the acting was superb. I also thought that the writing was superb, and I liked the backstories between the characters of Rita and Zordon and Divatox. Well, although Divatox and Elgar and King Mondo had limited screen time, and also I liked the sense of humor that Divatox threw to the table for the movie. I really liked that. And then Rita Revolto, I can just imagine Rita Revolto as a human first before he would put on that skeleton skull mask on his head, on his face thing. And, that was something. And then also, when I also looked at the soldiers of the Dragon Army, despite the fact that Rita did still possess, despite the fact that Rita created the Green Ranger's dragon coin and the Dragon Zord and the Dragon Dagger, since she's the creator of all three of those things, seeing her army with the Green Ranger's Dragon Shield was something. And then when I looked glimpsefully at the scene where Rito and his army was fighting the Machine Empire, I looked and said, were they multiple versions of the Green Ranger? Huh, that's something. I never really thought I would even see Rito with the Green Ranger's dragon shield. And also, when I even looked at that convoy scene with Rito and his army of the Dragon Army, it looked like something straight off Terminator. And yes, it did look like the Terminator, because if you're the human race versus versus a race of machines, alien machines, robots, whatever, that's exactly, I mean, you get that vibe of Terminator when you watch that scene. And that's what I liked about that film too. And then also, I guess that's all I can say. And then also the way how the space voids of in the cosmos for the film was done. I mean, it looks straight off like how would you see if this was Eltar surrounding those orbits of space everywhere. And then also, they even featured Edenoi. I like the Masked Rider references. I also forgot to bring that up when I brought up the character of Count Dragon and what's his name and Prince Dex, who was the Masked Rider. I would like to see if I would have liked it if Prince Dex of Edenoi was featured in a cameo, or if he was morphed as the Masked Rider. I would have loved to see a cameo of the Masked Rider in this movie. That would have been a plus. So that's all I can say about the fan film. In conclusion, Zordon of Eltar, after waiting for almost over a year for this fan film to come out, this is one of my top favorite Power Ranger fan films. Enough said. This is one of my top favorite ones. And if there is a Power Rangers fan film that does more successfully like this, I would definitely praise it. Or if it does disappoint me for some of its flaws and its consistency and persistence. So in favor, I'm a score of 5 out of 5. I don't want to go all analysis like Geekfalusia whenever Captain Logan does his superhero rewind reviews, when he analyzes everything about the movie and discussing some of the analyzing the themes and the characters and the story and everything. I'm not that guy. I'm not Captain Logan of Geekfalusia, and I never will. And when I gave the movie a 5 out of 5 rating, that's what I did. So stick with the rating I have for that. So anyway, this was a great fan film, and I cannot wait until Teenagers with Attitude 2, where it concludes Cisco Davis's work on Power Ranger fan films. From what I recall, after Teenagers with Attitude 2, he said he's going to be done doing fan films and fan films of Power Rangers in general, but this was just awesome. Just really awesome. So what were your thoughts on the Zordon of Eltar fan film? Did you thought it was good? Did you thought it was bad? Did you thought it was boring? Did you thought it was impressive? What did you think? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And I'm all for now, and I want to hear some more words from the film's director and such himself. Anthony Mars Jr. on PRLostGalaxy2014. Thanks for watching my fan film review of Zordon of Eltar, and I'll see you guys right back here next time. Be sure to subscribe, drop a like, share this video with your friends, and we'll talk soon. Thanks for watching.